What is going on, my beautiful D.D.D fam? We got a new microphone. You know what that means? We back to making videos, baby. New mic, new me, who this? New mic, who this? What is going on, guys? It's your boy Brendan, aka Drip, back with another video, and a long-awaited video, man. I can't believe it's been 2 months since I've talked to you guys. It's crazy. It makes me sad. I really miss making videos for you. So if you don't know, my microphone was broken. That's why I haven't been able to make videos. And the simulator I use online, the replays, I can't dial them down to where my computer can keep up with them. So that's the reason why I haven't been able to bring you digital deck profiles either. Also, if you can already tell with us having microphones back, being able to make videos, that means the Locals Live series will be back in full swing. If you didn't come and hang out with us last Thursday, then from here on out we will be there. If not, I'll let you guys know in advance. So Thursday evenings, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, I do the Locals Live, where I live stream my locals. Also, this deck profile, honestly, I can't take full credit for it. One of you guys, I can't remember who it was, and I'm sorry if I didn't grab the name. One of you guys mentioned in the Discord fam, about this deck being a hybrid in the form of Galaxy Eyes mixed with Horus, and that crap really got my brain going, because I thought about it, but I was like, it probably can't really work. But this deck is actually really freaking good. There's going to be a bunch of firsts in this deck. This will be the first time that we ever tried Horus in this deck, and it will also be the first time that I will bring you guys a deck profile that is all gas, no breaks. Granted, there's some utility cards for going second, but this is, in theory, the first time I'm bringing you guys a deck profile that is all gas, no breaks. And I know some of you guys want to play Galaxy as that way. Well, here you go. This is the way to do it. If you run the Horus engine, it's better to not run hand traps and you just commit to gas. But if you're not running the Horus engine, I still think that you need hand traps to be able to combat this meta. Because even in this version without hand traps, it's still kind of sketchy sometimes, because you still get blown out, because if you don't have no hand traps, and your engine, as good as our engine is, it's not good enough to push through everything. But with that being said, if you guys don't mind, please hit the like button if you haven't already, bell notifications so you never miss an upload, and hit the subscribe button. I love you guys so much for it, but I won't keep you all waiting any longer. Let's go ahead and get into this. Also, if you couldn't already tell, I have my other two. If you're wondering why I have my other two up here, it's because last time I told you guys I'd bring a deck profile. I would bring the Quarter Century and the ulti just for the profile. But to start it out, we have 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragons. Hand grave deck. It's always been that way and always will be that way, probably. This is the main facilitator of our deck, so we need him in the grave, and we need him when we need him in the grave, we need him in the hand, we need him in the deck when we need him. Exactly. So, pretty standard, never change. You see my lists, you know. Moving on to the rest of the Galaxy engine. Our best starter, 3 Wizard. Second best starter, 3 Soldier. 2 Brave, because it's still a starter and it's a level 8. So, yeah. 1 Afterglow is all you need. 1 Summoner. 1 I outgrind you, you can't outgrind me card. 2 Summoners, not necessary. I know a lot of people are on 2, but I'm telling you, 1 is more than enough. Like, Castier's not really around anymore. Yeah, Fenrir is a card, but if they're hitting Summoner, then you just win anyway, so you just kill them. Nothing really needs to be said about that. I've been on basically that ratio for a while now. For the Photons, some of you guys are going to be happy. Some of old fan favorite Photons are now back into this list just because it's kind of broken. 3 Orbital. I upped my ratio to 2 Jumper. 2 is perfect, 3 is too many, and 1's not enough. So 2 Jumper is perfect. 1 Vanisher. And here he's back. Advancer's back. Advancer's actually freaking busted in this version of the deck. Definitely just in the way that I play the deck myself moving forward. Unless this is format based. Like I tell you guys with a lot of the cards are format based. But for this format and for what you're trying to accomplish with the deck, kind of sort of moving forward, this card's really cracked. Because if you add this or have it in hand and search it off of Photon Dragon, the XZ, the ability to be able to summon this card and keep it a 4 or use Photon Dragon to make it 8 is insane. It makes it the most broken extender, I think, that we have access to, besides Vanisher and Emperor, of course. But yeah, the ability to make him a 4, keep him a 4, make him an 8 off of Photon Dragon is just absolutely insane. And then one Emperor. One is more than enough, even with the Horus card pitching and stuff. That's more than enough, because you have to keep this part in consideration. This is a Galaxy Eyes deck that utilizes Horus, not Horus that utilizes Galaxy Eyes. So you want to run the most minimal that you can and get away with when it comes to the Horus cards. So you don't want to brick, and you don't want to take away what your deck it really is to begin with. Now, you guys did say I could use proxies when I make this deck profile. You all didn't care. So keep that in mind for the ones who didn't vote and or probably first time seeing this video. I have proxies. Most of my subscribers don't care if I use proxies. But this is 3M SETI Mom Spaghetti. 3M SETI. It's the Searcher. It's the Rhoda. If you don't know what he does, you send him and another card to the graveyard, add King Sarcophagus, and then you can draw a card or whatever. Then if a card leaves the field except during the damage step that you control, you can send one card your opponent controls away. Send it away. So he's really good, and he's really good to have on board, and he's a level 8, hence why we're even running this engine if you didn't already know. But yeah, 3M SETI Mom Spaghetti, vomit on the sweater already. Thank you, Eminem. Anyways, the rest of the engine, we got one Happy, one Blessing, and one Sarcophagus. We're not running the other one because it's garbage. Granted, these guys are really good at what they do. You only need one Sarcophagus. You don't need more. You're not running tier. If they out this, then so be it. Then you just kill them with photons. But this card is really busted. Being able to send Emperor or Jumper to proc their effects, it allows you to get so much advantage. Definitely when you open like Mseti with Jumper, it just feels too free because you go like +3, +4 because you discard this and the Jumper, and now you have a Photon in graveyard, and then you add the King Sarcophagus off of this, draw a card, and then Jumper's effect will add you whatever you need. So it's really disgusting. So you go +3, +4 it off of just 2 cards. It's just so gross. And the ability to this to get a Photon Dragon in graveyard or an Emperor or anything else is just really nasty. On top of this being constant follow-up, every time we have access, as long as we have access to this card, it's basically Cashier of Birth. We will always have access to a rank 8. Because we'll always have names in graveyard. So this card is really nasty, and it's basically like a Cashier of Birth for this deck or any version of the deck that runs it. So the ability that our deck has over a lot of decks anyways is the ability to provide ourselves follow-up. That's another reason why I love Galaxy Eyes and why Galaxy Eyes is so broken. The deck has so much ability to be able to provide itself follow-up while having interruptions going first. So if you add this on top of our already all the follow-up we have already, it's actually insane what this deck can do and what it can play through. I've played through 4 hand traps and still was able to just kill my opponent. Partially probably because they don't know what Galaxy Eyes does, but also because this deck just has so much power and follow-up that they have to burn most of their resources to break our board, but by the time they expense all their resources, we're just going to kill them because we have so much follow-up and resources that they just can't do nothing. So King Sarcophagus is just nuts. Blessing, if you don't know what it does, it basically gains attack for however many Horus monsters you control. We don't really care about that effect. We care about its second effect. If a card leaves the field due to your opponent's card effect, except during the damage step, you can draw cards equal to the different names that you have on the field. So we like to swarm. What does Galaxy Eyes do? It swarms. And 99.9% of our cards are all different names, definitely the ones we're going to have on the board at that time. So if they pop something, like you're playing against Tier or you're playing against Unchained or something like that, and they out something or they link or something and it leaves the field, then you just use this and you just draw like 5 cards if you have that many on the board, 4 or 5 cards, and you just so far ahead. That's all Galaxy Eyes really needs just to like completely go off. And this is basically Soul Flare 2.0, but it's kind of indirectly, at the time of your proccing the effect, it's better because you can target 2 cards in your graveyard or banish pile, shuffle them back in the deck, or add them to your hand. So this allows you to get more follow up as well, or extension if you need it, which is absolutely disgusting. Definitely if you resolve this and Soul Flare on the same turn, it's just ridiculous and so nasty. That's why, like, if you don't have to rank overlay the Horus monsters, it's really nice to keep them on the board because of the level of like interaction they get if your opponent's trying to break your board and stuff. And then I am on 300. 300. I went up to 300 for a while now. If you think about it, you look at it this way. You have you indirectly have 3 starters with 3 targets. So I like to keep my targets equal to the amount of cards I have for it. Granted, this could send anything, but these are the best ones, if that makes sense. That's another reason why I run a 2-1 ratio, because Jumper is a better starter, as where Emperor is a better extender. So 300. Let me try to slide these up out of the way and make room for the other engine spells. 1 Expedition. It's just very good to pair it with Soldier or Wizard. Trance, because it's the best extender. Granted, you got to remember you can't use this the turn you use Horus cards, but it's fine. But if we go Horus, we don't need this. We save this to kill them on their turn, which is initially what we used to use it for back in the day, is just to kill them on their turn. On our turn rather, our crackback or follow up. Then Galaxy Zero's back in here. I swapped out Sanctuary for this because we're obviously running cards that are not light now, so I don't want to brick on Sanctuary. And honestly, I haven't missed it since swapping it out. Zero is so good of an extender, it's absolutely insane. The ability to like search this and just extend to make another rank 8 or something is just insane. Because now, like, with the current like cards we have, it's really hard, if not impossible, to make 38 Soul Flare, 90 Blast, and then having the Photon Dragon XZ on board to keep buffing our stuff. So what I do normally is I use this card will help me get into the Cypher X to be able to basically blast them for 2 turns so they can't target my stuff for 2 turns. So it will buy me some time so I can still end on 38, 90 Soul Flare, and Galaxy Photon Dragon to be able to basically end with the same board but with the lingering effect. So Zero is really nice like that. So on top of that, also the ability to be able to bring back anything as a starter. This on a crackback, if you didn't have very much name-wise starters, this can be a starter depending on what you have. So I like the addition of adding Zero back into the deck, and I don't know, I really like it. Moving on to the generic spells, I have 2 trade-in, 2 talents, 1 foolish, 1 upstart. Proxy in this too. I'm running upstart instead of trade-in, so if like I really want to minimize drawing two trade-in in the same hand. So that's another reason why I'm not running 3. I don't care if it's a once per turn or not, and or how many level 8s we're running. This card's very sticky to my hand when I don't have a level 8, so I want to minimize that. On top of that, who cares about their life points when we have Prime? So Prime says, who cares about 1,000 additional life points? I'm going to hit you for 18k and call it a day. 18k, call it a day. Man, I'm a poet and didn't even know it, boys. Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. Clean 40, all gas, no brakes. Let's get into the extra deck. This will not have a side deck because this is not a tournament deck. Obviously, because I have proxies. 2 Soul Flare, standard. And then I'm running a SP Little Knight. This card is ridiculous. If you can't afford this card, then put Bujinki back in. Bujinki is Bujinki. I just haven't missed Bujinki since running this. And when you're trying to crack boards and break boards, this card is really nasty because you take Soul Flare and something else and just link into this. And this dodges all targeting effects if you want to link away your blast or don't want to go into blast after turn 2. So this card just being able to break boards is really nasty, and the ability to not attack directly doesn't matter because 90% of the time they're going to leave a monster in attack position. So you just use Prime to attack their attack position monster and kill them. So we don't care about their SP Little Knight's effect to where we can't attack directly. I've loved SP Little Knight in here, but if you have the access to buy this or you have one, then run it in here instead of Bushinki. I haven't missed Bushinki. I just wanted to give you guys a budget alternative. But with all that said, like Little Knight is one of those cards where like I know a lot of people don't want to spend the money. I would spend the money because ever since her like she came out, I'm literally running her in almost every single deck because she's just that good, that broken, and that generic. 290. There is not a replacement or a budget card that for the second copy. If you do not own a second copy, I would probably try to either get one or just not play this deck until January, February when the reprint comes out. There is not a budget alternative. 107 or anything else does not provide the utility that this card provides. Definitely not in this build when you're running the Horus engine that helps this deck turbo out even more rank 8s. I'm sorry, there's just not. 38 is back in here obviously because I just said we're turbo out in rank 8, so why not? Mr. OTK himself, kill my opponent, ask questions never. Number C62, I only really make him when I'm trying to clear a whole board and I can't kill my opponent because they have defense position stuff. Or this card's really good against Scareclaw. Scareclaw's running around kind of like rampant when it comes to the rogue status, so this just says no to their whole entire deck basically, because if he has Photon Dragon attached to him, they can't do jack diddly squat to him. Unless they're running the adventure version and they just Draco back it back. But at that point, you're just going to kill them and they lose their Draco back regardless. I love my fellow adventure players, but a lot of adventure players out there will discard the Draco back, rather. I don't know why I said jumper, I meant Draco back. They'll discard the Draco back and then equip the Draco back, and then they lose their token, then they just lose the Draco back. So, like me, when I play that deck, I always hold the Draco back until my turn, so I know I get full resources out of it, like full utility, rather. But so, like, that's the only really thing that can out it, but this is good in a lot of stuff. Clearing boards, OTKing, being immune to monster effects. There's just so much, but I don't need to say that. You all know. Mr. Steal Your Girl. And then our monsters, because we just use their we can either make this to basically be a blast, or we just whatever we steal with Mr. Steal Your Girl, we put this on top because it becomes a cipher card. Cipher Blade to pop stuff. My baby, my favorite extra deck monster, full armor. It's always been that way. And then we got Galaxy Photon Dragon. Got a Blast, Jimmy Neutron, and then one Zeus. That's it for the extra deck. Nothing really needs to be said. I know some of you have asked, and I know some of you probably will ask, so I'll go ahead and say it. No, Typhon is not good in this deck for several reasons. One, it is a floodgate for monsters above 3K, and our deck thrives on 3K monsters, even the Horus cards. Two, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn. And whatever, just spinning a card is not going to save you. If you get in a situation where you need to spin a card that your full armor or Cipher Blade can't get rid of, then you just lost that game regardless. There's nothing else I'd really want to take out of the deck for anyway. So we have plenty of utility to out cards like that. With in the same way that card does. Also, I know some of you are probably going to ask about Numbers Last Hope. I am not running that card because the whole purpose of that card in this bit in the deck, the Galaxy deck itself, is to be able to bring out an additional rank 8, which we can already do with the Horus cards. So the Horus engine basically provides the same utility that Numbers Last Hope does, but without the expense of half my life points and the setup of having 2 level 8s in the graveyard. So that's the reason why I'm not running that card. Now, any other utility card like Hyper Galaxy, stuff like that, you can run that in the side if you want. But I really like the way this deck is built and where it sits right now. Other than that, there's not much I really change at the very moment, but only the format will tell. I just wanted to get this list out for you guys so you all can test it out and see it for yourself. Sorry about the proxying if that bothers you. Some of the other guys didn't mind, and The guys had the Starlight M-Setis, and I didn't, well, the quarter centuries, and I didn't want to use those because they're not my cards, and it makes me feel weird. But other than that, I'm so happy I'm back. I'm so happy I can make videos for you all again and talk to you guys. Obviously, you all know I love talking my head off. I just love you guys so much, and I want to be able to express everything and set you guys up for success with all of the play testing and stuff that I have. So you basically take that knowledge and saves you time. So, but with that being said, please hit the like button if you haven't already. Bell notifications so you never miss an upload, and look out for some upcoming content. I have some post the quarter century set. I'm going to get some of the cheaper staples and upgrade some of the decks. So other decks that I have profiled in the past, be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I love you guys so much. It's your boy Brennan, aka Drip, signing out. Till next time. Peace. Good dueling, my guys.